How's it going, bros? And today, let's story the mini story of the race. Okay, let's start.
It was 5 o'clock, and Alan was riding his motorcycle in San Francisco.
Oh,
When was Alan riding his motorcycle?
at 5 o'clock. Alan was riding his motorcycle at 5 o'clock.
Was Alan riding his car?
No, not the car. Alan was riding his motorcycle in San Francisco.
Where was Alan riding his motorcycle?
In San Francisco, of course. Alan was riding his motorcycle in San Francisco.
When was he riding?
At 5 o'clock. Alan was riding his motorcycle at 5 o'clock in San Francisco.
He was riding down Van Ness Street and came to a stoplight.
Oh.
Who was riding down Van Ness Street?
Alan. Alan was riding down Van Ness Street.
What was he riding on?
On his motorcycle. He was riding on his motorcycle.
Was he riding down Market Street?
No, not Market Street. He was riding down Van Ness Street.
Was he riding down Lombard Street?
Lombard Street? No. He was riding down Van Ness Street, not Lombard Street.
When? When was he riding down Van Ness Street?
At 5 o'clock. He was riding down Van Ness Street at 5 o'clock.
Who was riding down Van Ness Street at 5 o'clock?
Alan, of course. Alan was riding down Van Ness Street at 5 o'clock.
Was he in a truck?
No, not the truck. He was on his motorcycle. Alan was riding down Van Ness Street at 5 o'clock, whatever.
Did Alan come to a go light?
No, he came to a stoplight, not a go light.
Who came to a stoplight?
Alan. Alan came to a stoplight.
What was he on when he came to a stoplight?
On his motorcycle, of course. He was on his motorcycle when he came to a stoplight.
Where was the stoplight?
Okay, the stoplight was on Van Ness Street in San Francisco.
Was the stoplight on Embarcadero Street? Or was the stoplight on Van Ness Street?
Van Ness Street, of course. It was on Van Ness Street.
Who was at the stoplight?
Alan. Alan was at the stoplight.
Which city was Alan in?
San Francisco. Alan was in San Francisco.
Where is Van Ness?
Van Ness Street. It was on it was in San Francisco.
Is Van Ness Street in New York? Or is Van Ness Street in San Francisco?
In San Francisco, of course. Van Ness Street is in San Francisco.
Where was Alan riding?
Well, he was riding down Van Ness Street in San Francisco.
A red Ferrari pulled up next to him.
Oh.
Did the red Ferrari pull up behind him?
No, it wasn't. I'm sorry, it didn't.
What pulled up next to Alan?
Well, a red Ferrari. A red Ferrari pulled up next to Alan.
Did Alan pull up next to a red Ferrari?
No, a red Ferrari pulled up next to Alan.
Where did the red Ferrari pull up next to Alan?
A red Ferrari pulled up next to Alan on Van Ness Street in San Francisco.
Was Alan in a red Ferrari?
No, he wasn't. He was on his motorcycle, not the Ferrari.
What did the red Ferrari do?
A red Ferrari pulled up next to Alan.
The driver was wearing dark sunglasses.
Oh.
So, Alan was wearing dark sunglasses.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't wearing dark sunglasses.
Who was wearing dark sunglasses?
The driver, of course. The driver was wearing dark sunglasses, not Alan.
The driver looked over at Alan.
Oh.
Did the driver look behind Alan?
No, he didn't. The driver looked over at Alan.
Who looked over at Alan?
The driver, of course. The driver looked over at Alan.
Did Alan look over at the driver?
No, he didn't. He didn't look over at the driver. The driver looked over at him.
Who was the driver?
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise was the driver. Alan looked at the driver and realized that the driver was Tom Cruise.
Who was the driver of the Ferrari?
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise was the driver of the Ferrari.
Who was the motorcycle rider?
Well, Alan, of course. Alan was the rider of the motorcycle.
Who looked over at Alan?
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise looked over at Alan.
What was Tom Cruise wearing?
Well, Tom Cruise was wearing a dark sunglasses.
Was Alan wearing dark sunglasses?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't wearing dark sunglasses. Tom Cruise was wearing dark sunglasses. Dark sunglasses. Dark.
Tom sneered at Alan.
Oh.
Oh no. Did Tom smile?
No.
No, he didn't.
Oh. No, he didn't.
Was Tom friendly and nice?
No, I don't think so. He wasn't friendly and nice.
Did Alan sneer at Tom Cruise? Or did Tom Cruise sneer at Alan?
Tom Cruise sneered at Alan, of course. Tom Cruise sneered at Alan. Sneered at Alan.
After he sneered, what did Tom Cruise say?
Oh, Tom Cruise says, when the green light when the lights turn green, let's race.
Did Tom want to race?
Yes, of course. He wanted to race.
Alan said, "All right, you're on."
Oh.
Did Alan agree to race Tom?
Yes, he did. Alan agreed to race with Tom.
Did Tom say, "You're on"?
No, he didn't. Alan says, "You're on."
Who said, "You're on"?
Alan, of course. Alan says,
Alan.
"You're on."
Alan said, "You're on."